is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. As you can see, it's a ladies' day.
It's a ladies'
It's a
day.
ladies' day, one of my favorites, which I love. All right, did y'all see this? A woman protesting the war in Ukraine interrupted Russia's main evening newscast yesterday. So she held a sign saying, "No war, don't believe the propaganda, they are lying to you." The woman, who is identified as editor and producer for that Russian TV channel, recorded a video beforehand that's now gone viral. In it, she says she's been at the station for years and, quote, working on Kremlin propaganda, and now I'm very ashamed. I'm ashamed that I've allowed lies to be said on the TV screens. I'm ashamed that I let the Russian people be zombified. Now, the woman was detained by Russian police, and lawyers with human rights groups are saying they are unable to locate her now. Let's give her a name. Her name is Marina Ovsianikova, and she, the new law that says that anyone disseminates fake news can face up to 15 years in prison. How do we all feel about Marina's fate and what she did?
I mean, you need these kind of acts of resistance in order to fight an oppressive dictator. Somebody has to stand up, and then a group has to stand up, and that's usually how we see the tables turn. The only thing for her, I saw on Sean King's Instagram page, he put that she's a mother of two. And so when you think about being the first person to stand up, it's usually somebody who takes a sacrifice like this and risks everything. And this is the biggest news channel in Russia. So imagine,
basically,
yeah,
right.
exactly. So imagine the biggest channel in America, and somebody decides to take a stand against them when they're pushing out propaganda on the hour every single day. And
especially with someone who worked there.
Right, and the Washington Post said they can't find her right now, so I'm just hoping that she's okay, and hope more people will look at this and say it's time for me to speak up and maybe come together as a group so you're more protected than just one individual.
That's a good point. Just so you know, the episode has been scrubbed completely from Channel One's website. Erica, what do you think?
I think when we have these conversations about journalism, this is what we're talking about. This is like the worst case scenario, because when we're not clear about who is a journalist, who is an editorial speaker or personality, what is actual news versus what is considered entertainment or playing the middle. And when I say playing the middle, I just want to be like really clear about a couple of things that are kind of inside baseball, but like, we can do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we decided that there was, like something on Instagram or whatever, we wanted to promote it. There are things that we're able to do that our colleagues who are journalists are not able to do. So I always feel really weird about the idea, and I know, Lindsay, you're a trained journalist, so I don't want to just like
I
diminish
understand, but
in this role.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because I think that I think that sometimes people want to play both sides. They want all of the credibility of journalistic integrity, known as a journalist, but they also want to make a lot of money by doing things that are, a part of their brand. These things need to be separated. When we have conversations about news stations, is it a news station where they are committed to the unbiased truth, or is it a part of entertainment programming that talks about the news? People come for us, I know they come for me all the time, saying like, as a journalist, I am paid, we are all paid here to give our opinions. That's not the same to me as necessarily the people who are our colleagues down the hall. So I think that's why I'm so passionate about this idea of being really intentional about what we're telling people, because this is the worst case scenario.
Yeah, a lot of people are also calling her the bravest woman in the world. It is interesting that a mother took the opportunity to do it. And she also says in her video message, what's going on in Ukraine is a crime and Russia is the aggressor. The responsibility for this aggression lies on one person, and that person is Vladimir Putin. That's a brave thing to do, and we hope and wish her well. We'll keep you updated as soon as we hear anything about Marina as well. Well, speaking of brave women, a group of Ukrainian women are documenting the Russian invasion with pictures and videos. They're doing it to, quote, show the world the horrors. Now, their group is called Detallion, like data and battalion, and if you check out their Twitter feed, they've got videos showing the aftermath of an air raid on a Ukrainian school. They then show a residential building in Kyiv on fire after it was hit with a projectile. They've also documented a bomb disposal unit removing a giant bomb from a residential area. They've even gotten photos from the subway where volunteers have brought toys and materials for children. Yesterday, I saw a clown was at the border there trying to help out. Now, one of the women leading the group explained that they're fighting against Russia with data and information. That is so interesting to me. And they want to show the world what the Russian army is really doing. Here's what she told Fox News.
We know that every view, every reaction, every like is very important. So now we do see this impact that we are doing. People think that this war is very far away from us. It doesn't consider us. So, you know, we need to share this. That's why we are doing this open database, to share with people.
So data has become the currency. Isn't that it? With the real information has become the currency. What do you think about this, Linz?
These women have already put up 1,000 videos or more, starting 3 days after the war started, and they're helping out and using social media, which has been the biggest tool in this war to tell the truth, especially when we see that Russia has an entire television station dedicated to propaganda. And it's just so amazing that they're doing this. They're also not just stopping there. Like, some of these leaders of this group have gone over to Poland, come back to Ukraine with supplies and food. And so they're fighting in a different way than actually fighting, and this is a way to push back. I think that Russia wasn't planning to be met with this much resistance, and so I said this yesterday, that Ukraine has won already on the moral level and on the psychological level, and so this is another example about when this goes down in the history books, why Ukraine won this entire thing, no matter what happens.
I agree with you, David and Goliath. What do you think?
Yeah, I think when you said data has become the currency, I would argue that data has been the currency. It's just a matter of what data is being actually amplified and who's consuming it. And what they're doing with the consumption. Exactly. Right. So for this to be the way that they're fighting against it, it literally is fighting on the same level that it started. Now, obviously, it's gotten violent and it's become brutal, but they're still using the genesis of how it started. And I think that's really important. I think when we really look at this, we are not that far. When she said this is far away, I don't feel that way at all. I feel like we are primed to possibly be in the same position, and it's for the same reasons.
Right. I totally agree with you. I also think it's interesting that Anonymous, that group that is working on taking down internet propaganda websites, women, brave women like this, trying to show us what it's really like. Don't take for granted in this country that we are allowed to show dissent and we are allowed to show what it's really like, because they are not. Even journalists in Ukraine can't go to some of these places that these women are going to show you the truth. Their life and sacrifice is about the truth. And let me tell you, if you do go to this Twitter website, I do want to warn you, some of the stuff they put up there is graphic, but that's the truth, and that's what these women are doing. So I'm incredibly proud of the females and women of Ukraine. Their will and resistance is unbelievable, honestly.
And Marina, the woman that we talked about first, her mother is Russian and her father's Ukrainian. And so she said, you know, she felt like she was in a position that she had to do this. That video that we actually showed, she put up prior to doing that on the station. So this was
She planned this.
Yeah, she pre-planned, and she knew that she was about to commit her life to, nobody can find her. So
Nobody knows
God knows what, but she knew that she was going to make this happen. And so I just hope she's safe.
Me too. That's real sacrifice. Keep it coming. Coming on DBL, a new twist in the case of a fake heiress who inspired a Netflix show. Did Anna Sorokin evade her deportation? And mentalist Wayne Hoffman never lets us down. He's back with more unbelievable tricks for us, so don't go away.
Closed captioning provided by
Let me.
Apparently Marina was in court this afternoon and is fined $210, but they're not sure if she's going to face more serious charges.
Okay, so we're getting an update what we think. This is senior producer Michael.
Oh,
that's 30,000 rubles, which, by the way, is nothing now because
$210.
Yeah, it's because we've ruined the ruble because of our sanctions. Apparently, she was in court today, Marina. I don't know if she was represented at all.
In the Washington Post, they said that Kremlin said they're not going to deal with her. They said the television station's going to deal with her. I don't know what that means when the television station is pushing propaganda, but maybe they're putting it. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of the same thing. So I don't know you know, I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen to her, because what do you mean the television station's dealing with her?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, like
it's an
it's
HR
all one.
issue?
Yeah, it's not just an HR issue, she's in court. So that, I mean, that's what they told the Washington Post.
You know, in Israel, women and men both have to join the army when you reach 18 and spend, I believe, 2 or 3 years, right? Women are seen as just as strong in Israel. And really in Ukraine, these women are fighters. These are soldiers of information. And that is vital to Putin, because he thought it'd all just be 1980s again and we'd all just believe it. So unbelievable bravery from these women. It's not easy, the sacrifice they're making. Again, Marina was a mother. We don't know how long she's going to be in prison. We got gulags. We don't have great representation there in Russia for lawyers. So unbelievably brave. It's not just showing a video. It's like putting your life on the line kind of thing.
And Putin made a decision for all of Russia, so that, you know, it's a stain on Russia's
One
legacy.
man.
And people have to be like, I'm not associating with this.
Yeah.
But that's also
One
a big
man.
ask
Yes.
to tell somebody that you need to put your livelihood in danger. But it already is with how much we took from them, with all the sanctions and everything. Like, your livelihood is at stake already, so it's kind of like the odds for you to actually make that decision are more, you know, it's a tiny bit easier. And I'm saying that, understanding that it's not easy at all.
Yeah, any dissent is hard. Any dissent in Russia is punishable.
Right, they
at all
protested and they threw him in jail.
Yeah, like you can't even just say no.
A basic street protest.
Yeah, so it's just so vastly different than the freedoms we get here, and we should be really grateful for that democracy. Welcome back. The fake German heiress who scammed her way into New York's elite society, she speaks like this, is still in the U.S. after a deportation mix-up. Anna Sorokin, who also went by Anna Delvey, conned her way to hundreds of thousands of dollars and is now the subject of the Netflix series Inventing Anna. Take a look.
Hi, Anna. I just had some questions.
I have a question. What are you wearing? You look poor.
She is everything that is wrong with America right now.
I hear I'm famous. People are painting a public picture of me as some criminal. That's not my story.
What is your story?
Interesting. Again, it's by Shonda Rhimes, if you didn't know. It's good.
Wow.
Anna is played by actress Julia Garner, who just does a spot-on impression of her as well. She was in Ozark with the
I was about to
Ruth,
say,
the blonde,
yes, Ruth.
curly-haired Ruth. Just, I think, the new Meryl Streep, in my opinion. Not kidding. Anna, who was known for wearing designer outfits during her trial, there was an Instagram just for her court appearances and her outfits, was supposed to be on her way to Germany. But according to some news reports, her lawyers appealed her deportation. She's still being held at a detention center in New York. Anna is also set to appear on a podcast tonight.
What
How did
is
she
it?
do this in a video recorded interview from ICE, the immigration facility? Okay. I'm so bizarrely interested in this woman. What do we think about her maybe evading deportation? Did you guys see the show?
Yes.
What do we
I
think?
haven't seen it yet.
Yes. It's- I did too.
I was all in because
Me too.
when she was in court, I was doing morning radio and I would talk about what she was wearing.
her outfit.
Like, and how crazy it was that we were having the conversation about what she was wearing when she was a whole fraud. I mean, like, it just goes to show you, you really can be whatever you want to be if you just set your mind to, like, commit to
Dress
the
the
bit.
part.
Commit to the bit.
Dress the part.
I'm not shocked that she's evading deportation. I'm surprised we even know where she is, that she hasn't gotten a whole new face and wardrobe. This is it's shocking.
It's really, and she almost got $40 million from these really very credible places. What do you think about this, Linz? And also, could she work her way out of deportation?
I mean, the level to which that she's emboldened and the audacity to which she walks around this world is something that's really admirable.
Right?
Because I'm like, I mean, I'm late to this story. I'm like, what? What? I'm trying to really understand how to have a conversation about this, because, like, shame on the banks that were going to loan her money, but also this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, she went on a TV and said, you know, crime pays in a way. Like, she has no remorse for this at all. She just walking through life like, okay, well, well, you guys are the silly ones for accepting this.
Yeah.
And like, maybe she started to believe her own lie. I always say if you repeat something enough, that's just your life, girl. That's what you actually think is happening to you. She thinks that she's a German heiress because the way that she's walking around, she has to believe that.
Yeah, and like when we talk about fake, I mean like she would use a voice recorder to change her voice to become what they said was her father, the heir. So it's like this was really premeditated with like tools and all this stuff. And I think what she did so well was the branding of her in court.
But doesn't it say something about our society that you can take a picture with somebody and now you have all this currency? Okay, now you're Diddy's friend because you took a photo. Like, and we're getting past that because Instagram, everybody's accessible. But it's like you're not who you could be just because of a photo. And we lie so much on Instagram that it's like, okay, this fraudulent lifestyle is coming to a head, and you got to start separate the truth from reality.
She was the original.
Yeah.
She was the original, though. There's a difference between like looking the part and actually credibly being the part. Most people in her position wouldn't even be looking the part the way that she does.
Yeah.
But it tells you exactly what it is.
It's all about the cover. Don't judge a book by this cover.
They say dress for the position you want. Maybe that was
dressed like a
what she thought she was
doing. Meeting Jay Leno. Okay, coming up on DBL, friend of the show Wayne Hoffman has more tricks up his sleeve for us. What illusions will he pull up this time?
Social media is full of opinions and hot takes, but we verify so that we could stick just to the facts. Right now, there's a lot of talk about how much gas and oil is produced in the U.S. Biden critics are quick to write things like this: Biden needs to unleash American energy production, while Jen Psaki, his press secretary, argues that U.S. production of natural gas and oil is rising and approaching record levels. So let's verify, how much gas and oil do we produce in the U.S., and how does it compare to past years? Our sources are the Energy Information Administration and a pair of energy experts, Mark Finley from Rice University and Robert Weiner from the George Washington University. So let's get to the data. The EIA has this graph showing yearly crude oil production in the U.S.
I mean, you'll see that U.S. oil production peaked in around 1970.
Our two experts walked us through the data, pointing out that for some 30 years, between the 70s and the 2000s, U.S. production was dropping.
The United States was in steady decline because it's basically been drilled out.
Our experts say that this all changed in the mid-2000s due to the so-called shale revolution. Techniques like hydraulic fracturing or fracking caused a huge spike in production of oil in the U.S.
That shale revolution took place across successive administrations of both Democrats and Republicans.
So let's get to the latest numbers. In 2021, there were over 4,082,000,000 barrels produced in the U.S. That's only lower than 2020 and the peak in 2019. Weiner says the decrease over the last 2 years was due to the global pandemic.
With demand way down, production needed to go down also. So the oil companies produced less. They were very unprofitable.
So we could verify that the U.S. production of oil and gas is down from 2019, but it's far greater than it's been for nearly all of American history. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozloff.
Welcome back to DBL. The unbelievable tricks from mentalist and illusionist Wayne Hoffman always blows our minds. Take a look at some new ones he shared with us earlier. You'll be amazed. Wayne, we're so happy to have you back. Okay, so what do you have in store for us first?
I want to try a little experiment, and I want to try this with Jeff, if you're willing to participate.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, brother. Now, for everyone watching, I want to point out Jeff has no idea what's going to happen. We haven't prearranged anything. What you're about to see is happening live the same way you're seeing it at home. So, Jeff, I want you to think of people in your life that you've met. This could be someone important to you. It could be somebody random, but pick one name of someone in your life that you've met, and think of that name and let me know when you have it.
You threw me, but now I got a different name. So yes, I got one.
It's
locked
in your head
It's
right
locked
now.
in.
Like,
yes.
think about it.
So now you were debating. So because you changed your mind, as soon as you dedicate on one, I want you to now tell us out loud the name of the person you thought of.
First and last name?
Just the first name is fine.
Is Dave.
Well, what if I told you that I have a photo of Dave in my wallet?
No way. No way. There's not a no way.
Now,
walk up to say.
I know.
I was gonna
Now
blink
look,
it and
in
hide.
my wallet, right here in my wallet, I have a photo of Dave, but let me give you a close-up of this in a second. Check this out. Behind my driver's license,
He's confident.
you see in my wallet, there's a
Kelly, give me your
photo, but
blanket.
it's just a bunch of junk. I told you it was Dave, but it's really just a bunch of junk. But check this out. Let's give you a close-up of what I have. Check this out. Because if you're able to, if you rewind, it is a picture of Dave. D-A-V-E.
Give me your blanket,
right
girl.
on the money.
I'm scared.
That was incredible. My head's spinning like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Out of any name in the world, I said any name of anyone in the world, good choice on Dave. So that's what you call too much time doing things you weren't supposed to as a child. But the real question is, did I know in advance, or was Jeff able to pick up what was in my wallet? That's the question. That's the real key. Is who's the mentalist here? I don't know.
It's not Jeff.
When you tell the audience I had no idea this was coming, that's most shows. So yeah.
Wayne, that was obviously.
He's correct.
Wayne, that was incredible. What else do you have for us?
Oh my God.
So a lot of people want to know what mentalists do in our spare time. Like, do we practice? What do? We do a lot of mental exercises. So if you've ever watched people practice something, you can watch. You can't watch me practice, but we use things like these. I'm sure you're familiar with the Rubik's cubes and so on. So we practice mental exercises to be able to do these crazy things. But for practicing with this thing for over 30 years, I found a shortcut. Yeah, check this out. All you have to do is blow on it like this.
Oh my gosh.
And that's how you solve it. Yeah, so just try that at home. Go grab a Rubik's Cube, see, just blow on it, and if it works, call me and I'll put you in my show.
What?
Oh my goodness.
That's incredible. Is there something in your head that you click on and off?
It's hard work.
His phone's ringing.
That's a Tori timer.
Yeah.
Get you out of any conversation with Tori. I sent it to him last night.
That's the moment I felt like she was going to take the blanket off. It's weird. So
It's freezing in here. My
it ain't
lips are
happening.
hurting.
All right.
It's cold. Look, my teeth are chattering.
No, you're doing that.
No, I'm not.
Legit. Either you're a great actor or it is freezing in there. I'll warm it up with my mind. Don't worry.
Yeah, Wayne, we want to thank you too. When you're in studio, it seems like such a long time ago,
God.
but you took time and showed every single person a trick. So
It was mind-blowing.
Yeah, you're amazing. We can't wait to get you back in studio, buddy.
One of the original friends of the
I'm
show.
ready to come back once the security will let me through the door. I've been having trouble. But I'm ready to come back when you guys will have me. And it's fun reading everybody's mind in studio. You guys are wild.
You're unbelievable, Wayne. Thank you so much. You can check out dates to see Wayne perform live at waynehoffman.com. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Waking up might have been a little harder for you today. That's because of the start of daylight saving time. It's when we spring our clocks forward and gain more sunlight later in the day. But every year we hear some of the same claims pop up about daylight saving time. We went to cardiologist Dr. Pyle Coley, Dr. Nancy Behrens, System Medical Director for Novant Health Sleep Medicine Program, the Sleep Foundation, a study published by the American Psychological Association, and a different study published by Current Biology. The first question, do you really get less sleep as we spring forward?
According to the Sleep Foundation, humans and mammals are guided by circadian rhythms. Basically, it's like a clock inside our bodies that's coordinated to the daylight schedule. In order to reset each day, it must be synchronized with natural light to darkness cycles in order to ensure some good Z's.
So the minute that you change what amount of sunlight you're getting, that circadian rhythm gets disrupted.
Dr. Coley says when the rhythm is interrupted, like more sunlight at night, that means less sleep.
The sleep hormones that are being released or supposed to be released when it's dark don't come out at the right time. And then the wakeful hormones, the ones that give us energy in the mornings, those don't come out at the right time.
Dr. Barron says this then creates grogginess and mood swings.
A few days to a week would be typical. Some people may be affected even longer. So really, taking care to protect your sleep time, have good sleep habits is especially important around this time.
In a study published by the American Psychological Association, it found the Monday directly following daylight saving time, workers sleep on average 40 minutes less than on other days. So we can verify that, yes, most people do get less sleep when you set your clocks forward. The next question, are there more car crashes the Monday after we spring forward?
We actually have found that there are more car accidents the Monday following the time change. So definitely want to be careful and make sure you're alert if you're going to be driving.
A study from Current Biology looked at the week of daylight saving from 1996 to 2017 and found on average more fatal accidents occur than other weeks during the year. The study found at the start of daylight saving time, fatal traffic accidents increased by 6% in the U.S. So we can verify that, yes, there are more car crashes the Monday after we spring forward. With your Verify, I'm Megan Brack.
By definition, an oligarch is a member of a small group of people who have control of a country, organization, or institution, usually through a massive amount of wealth. In Russia, about 35 billionaires have profited from their association with President Vladimir Putin. They rose to power back in the 90s when the Soviet Union collapsed by buying government-run institutions and becoming multi-billionaires. As long as they remain loyal to Putin, their rich lifestyle only gets richer. But Putin's invasion of Ukraine is threatening that lifestyle. So far, sanctions from the U.S. and European Union have cost oligarchs more than $80 billion. These Russian elites own property in the U.S. and other European countries. But now, the U.S. Justice Department has launched a task force going after their assets to deal another blow to Putin's strongest allies.
Welcome back. Neglected houses without repairs or maintenance quickly fall into despair, and it costs a pretty penny to get it back to its original condition. So it's time for some DBL home tips presented by American Home Shield. First up, always direct rainwater away from your home's foundation. If not, you risk water flowing into your basement. Plastic or vinyl gutter spout extensions are available at any hardware store. Next up, remove that lint from your dryer and vent. It clogs in key areas of your dryer and it restricts airflow, which can catch fire. Lastly, cleaning your air grills. Blowing air carries dust, which can leave you cleaning your home more often and triggers allergies. And remember, an American Home Shield home warranty plan helps cover many things homeowners insurance leaves out, like breakdowns of major components of home systems and appliances, so you can rest easy knowing you're ready for whatever breakdowns strike next. Visit ahs.com to find a plan that's right for you. Good to know about those things. And we also have a comment about the war. This is Rhonda. She says, I hate social media, but in this case, I think it's helping. I think more people continue to care seeing these new photos and videos every day. It does personalize it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you find the human connection between everybody. And we saw it in Egypt with the uprising. I brought that up last week. You know, when you see what's going on exactly, no news report, nobody who might be pushing propaganda can tell you what's happening. You can see for yourself.
Yeah, the truth you can see. Interesting. DBL is new every day. We will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Thanks for being with us, guys. Appreciate it.